What's up, guys? What's up? There's some craziness going on right now. Some type of explosion, huge explosion. Give me a second. We're setting up here. Massive scene. At least one dead. I think 2 injured. Breaking news, man. This is crazy, crazy. At a fertility clinic, they're saying. What happened? Jeez Louise. Can't just have a peaceful day. What's up, everybody? We're about to get started. Hit the like button for me. We got some breaking news. I'm posting this on every platform. We're about to get started. There's pictures, there's video. Hopefully we get some live reporters out on the scene. All right, let's check in, man. Check in here. Holy moly, moly. I don't know what is going on, man. Car explosion at a fertility clinic in Palm Springs, California. I was scrambling to try to get as much information as I can. Nat, we were talking about this. I'm still trying to find more information. Check this out. Looks like maybe that says American Reproductive. A car has exploded at a fertility clinic near Desert Regional Medical Center in Palm Springs, California, killing at least one person and injuring several others, according to witnesses and local officials. This is from BNO News. The incident happened around 10:50 a.m. Now they're West Coast, so 11:50, 12:50, 1:50. Saturday, when a car exploded in a parking lot of an American Reproductive Centers, a fertility clinic, and an IVF lab. Okay, that's the address, 1199 North Indian Canyon Drive. The blast was heard across the area. Wow. The cause of the explosion was not immediately known. Everything is in question, whether this is an act of terrorism. Palm Springs Police Department told the Desert Sun News. Footage from a witness showed a body, oh man, near the scene of the explosion. Now that body, was it the person that set this bomb up, or is that just a casualty, somebody near the area where it exploded? Palm Springs Police and Fire currently are on scene and request residents stay away. Car was on fire, was driving by and took this. I can't confirm the cause. Wow. Wow. A massive boom that rocketed downtown Palm Springs on Saturday around 11 a.m. appears to be a car explosion near the American Reproductive Centers clinic on North Indian Canyon Drive, East Chicava Drive. Wow. Now he posted a couple of. Let me see here. He posted some pictures. Oh, here we go. Some
explosion was so crazy. It blew out the glass of this liquor store. Look at this liquor store.
Not the liquor store.
Oh my god. All from this explosion. Poor guy. Damn. This liquor store got from the explosion. Look at this, dude. Damn, crazy explosion. Glass and everything everywhere. Guys, look at this.
Wow.
We are right here. This whole building exploded. Jesus. Guys, look at this. We are right here. This whole building exploded. Jesus.
Damn, bro. Crazy, 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 crazy. Crazy news. Let me see what else we can get. There's people that have posted pictures. Major car explosion across the street from the hospital. Shock our house. Reproductive center. Not sure. Someone said car exploded. Damn, bro. Some like out of the movies. Straight out of the movies. And let me see. So this is Palm Springs, California. Okay. Okay. To the right, towards the right of Los Angeles. Palm Springs. Ah, there it is. Okay, Palm Springs. Craziness. Car exploded. Nobody out there's posted anything yet. Read full summary. Let's see here. It says the incident was reported at 1199 North Indian Canyon. An explosion at American Reproductive Centers, a fertility clinic, and IVF lab near Desert Regional Medical Center has caused significant damage and killed at least one person. The incident was described as a car explosion according to a local report from NBC Palm Springs. Roads are closed. It was unclear if anyone was inside the building at the time of the explosion. American Reproductive Centers. Let's see that. American Reproductive Centers. Springs. Oh, here we go. We got a live update article here. We got a couple of articles. Amazing. Now, let me put this picture on the screen because, wow. Holy. Boom. It's a serious bomb, man. What could this have been? You know, somebody pissed off. Somebody got the wrong kid. There was some lady. I forgot there was some lady that in the news. She had some type of baby through some clinic or something. I don't know if she was a surrogate or something. They gave her the wrong baby. She had a black baby. And she wanted to keep the baby, but then the actual parents sued and got the baby, got custody of the baby. So now I think she's suing the company. So there was firefighters responded to a report of an explosion at a health facility. Okay. Preliminary information from local media outlets indicated that the explosion occurred at American Reproductive Centers. Okay. Now, the place has some good reviews. Looking at the Google reviews 5 days ago, we came to Dr. Abadallah when we first decided to pursue IVF. We're so glad we did it. Another good review. We loved it. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Has anybody left a bad review recently? 8 months ago, navigating IVF journey is challenging and choosing the right clinic is crucial. Unfortunately, this place has been deeply frustrating and disheartening. The clinic failed to perform a saline infusion, a procedure we paid for and was critical for the process. Without this, the first round was doomed from the start. It ended in failure. Despite this oversight, we trusted the clinic to adjust the approach for the second round. However, the physician kept me on the same dosage of medication, even though there was no growth in the first round. I felt like it sabotaged our chances. When it became clear there was still no growth during the second round, the doctor brought up the option of using a donor, despite us clearly stating in our consultations that this was not an option for us. At the point, the doctor recommended not to complete the second round. Given the circumstances, we were entitled to a refund as we already paid $18,000 up front. Damn, they're putting in some real money. We were informed of the refund dating back in January of this year, but as we approach September, we're still waiting for the refund, $18,000. The financial manager, Evelyn, has been unresponsive to our numerous emails and phone calls, leaving us in limbo. Mostly good reviews, though. 4.5 stars. Somebody wasn't happy 8 months ago. 4 months ago. Somebody said something too. Worst experience of my life. Just thinking about almost 3 years later gives me PTSD. Go anywhere else to help you. Okay. There was 2 people that weren't happy. Somebody from a year ago too. Okay. Damn, I don't know. Why blow up the American Reproductive Center place? Let's see something here. Do we have any Palm Springs? There was some type of radio, but I don't think anything. Palm Springs Air Museum. Let me check the broadcast. Okay. Palm Springs explosion. Let's see if they're saying anything here. A big explosion has shaken parts of Palm Springs and heavily damaged a fertility clinic. Police say it could have been caused by a bomb car parked outside the American Reproductive Center's clinic. They say the windows at many other businesses were shattered. Damn. Palm Springs.
Palm Springs, engine activate. Confirm, have you made it on scene yet at Clementon? Hold up, Doc. Show me up. I had another medical aid. I was just seeing if you're going to be available. I'll start 86. Give it to me. I'll put somebody in and we'll go.
Where's the car? Let's see what these other articles are saying too, because they're investigating.
Engine 93 is going to be a medical place of laceration to the head at Villa Los Palmas and North Palm Canyon. She just needs to be walked into the hospital.
Explosion was so crazy.
Villa Los Palmas and North Palm Canyon. Phone call tomorrow. Filter, and we're about to Villa Los Palmas. Copy that.
Man, what these guys doing?
Wait for the incident. Unrelated to the incident. You cut yourself off. Unrelated or actually related? Apologize. Unrelated. Thank you.
Damn, yo. That shit, that thing really, yeah, and where's the car? If it was in front or was it in the back somewhere? That must have been a really, or is that the car in rubble? I don't know. Is it in pieces? Where's the car at? So over here, what is the American Reproductive Centers? The explosion that rattled Palm Springs on Saturday impacted the American Reproductive Centers along North Indian Canyon Drive. The building.
Battalion 2, County of 93. Here we go. Am I going to be able to make it to the hospital from this location without going through your incident? I don't have the incident. I have city covered. Probably not. We're going to have to find a way around.
So this building is Coachella Valley's first and only full-service fertility center and in vitro fertilization lab, according to the website. The clinic opened up in 2006 and provides a wide variety of fertility options, including IVF, male and female fertility evaluation, intrauterine insemination, egg donation, genetic testing, egg freezing, LGBTQ family building, surrogacy resources, and more. People nearby describe this place. There's a guy that lives nearby, Matt Spencer, about 200 yards away. He said he walked past the building about 5 minutes after he heard the boom. He told a reporter the front of the building is blown across the street into the parking lot of the Desert Regional, and the rear axle of a vehicle was burning behind the building. Wow. He described the scene as grisly of a possible body and car parts strewn across both Indian Canyon and Palm Canyon Drive. So that car, I guess, in pieces.
Things in 93 in the area. So far, we need to go. Do you have a description or a vehicle description? Negative, they advised it was just on that corner. Let me get further clarification. Information on this corner as well inside the ongoing incident, and there's numerous engines and staff here. Nobody's flagging us down. Battalion 2, Battalion 4. Good. Battalion good to run the city. Let's have you do any additional incidents on TAC 3. We are going to hold off your TAC 1 for this incident. Copy that, going face to face you right now. On your six. Offspring visit 93. In 93, go ahead. Go ahead, start me name our units, my location. Copy. Engine 24.
Engine 24, Paris.
Engine 24 on scene appears to be some rubbish, possibly an outbuilding in the rear of the address, just south of the park. I'll just let you know when I get more eyes on it. I'll be the mountain IC.
Engine 24, Paris, copy. This is the mountain IC. Battalion 12, they confirm your copy.
Battalion 12, they copy the traffic. This is looking at that.
Engine 56, 1309.
41 6.
Engine 41, Corona engine 7, 1309.
Very good. Team cancel MR patients refusing treatment. They're going to POV to Eisenhower. Hi, guys.
A huge explosion, man. Palm Springs, California. It looks like right outside of this American Reproductive Center. At least one dead. Somebody saw a body. No idea the motive. What could be the motive behind blowing up a place? I mean, was it a personal grievance? Was it revenge? A disgruntled patient, partner, employee? Was it a personal vendetta? Lawsuits where they denied treatment? Was it a failed fertility procedure? Because there was one of the reviews that I looked up. There was somebody was really upset. Two of them are really upset. I'm not saying it's that, but just thinking of possible reasons, motives to blow up like this.
Looks like we got about a quarter of which involves the animal skull.
Now, 19 Paris, copy. I did copy a quarter acre of rubbish. Re-advised additional.
About 19, how do you copy me?
Now, 19 Paris, extremely scratchy.
Down 90, continue. We got a quarter acre of rubbish with a animal stall that can start animal control.
Now, 19 Paris, I believe you're requesting animal control for an animal stall. Can you confirm?
Paris Mountain 90. We have a animal stalls, including support that you can start animal control.
Now, 19 1312.
Let's see here. You saw my text? Okay, look at the text. Um,
David Reese here.
Oh, here's a guy talking
we're
about
on
it.
Facebook, coming to you live
live.
from Desert Regional Medical Center in Palm Springs. So what time is it? I don't even know what time it is. About 11 o'clock this morning. Reports began coming in of some type of an explosion in this area. We now know it's at an office building directly across the street over my shoulder. Can you step over here, David? I don't know if you can get over here, but you can see there's helicopters flying over here. There's a tremendous response here. There are windows blown out all up and down on the buildings facing the street here, but down here it's directly across the street really from the main entrance to Desert Regional Medical Center. There is a reproductive health building over there. The entire front of it is blown out, and we believe that is where the explosion took place. I want to emphasize we don't know anything about why or what, but I can tell you from the police response here, it looks like there's great concern this may have been a bomb, but we do not have that confirmed. We just know right now that there's been a large explosion in front of Desert Regional, but not at Desert Regional. It's across the street at a reproductive health office here in Palm Springs. So we were just, my photographer David and I were just around the corner by the parking structure trying to shoot some video, and they were moving us all back because there's broken windows and alarms going off, and it looks to me like, based on what they're telling us, that there is some concern that there may still be something over there. So again, we don't know what caused this, but I can just describe the scene for you. Let's shoot over here and show them. So that building with the tile roof, that is part of, I believe, this building in. Let's walk over here. We're going to walk over and see how far we can get. They're really being pretty strict about keeping people out of here. There's a tremendous law enforcement response here, but there's broken windows across the street from. You can hear the alarms. Can you hear that? The alarms in the parking structure are all going off. I think there's broken windows in some of the medical offices that are attached to this parking structure. So that's what those alarms are. There's a lot of people milling about here. I think this is about as far as we're going to be able to go. But again, this appears to be an office building directly across the street from Desert Regional. The main entrance to Desert Regional, if you're familiar with this, it's off property. Okay, we can't go over there. Go.
Sidewalks.
Yeah. Can we get over there? I mean, it doesn't look like I can go over there. Although if I walk out there,
This area is all cordoned off for safety purposes. We just need press to be off property before we start recording.
Okay. All right, let's go.
Any of the public sidewalks are fine.
Okay. So let's walk this way.
On the other side of the parking lot.
Okay, we'll go over there. Thank you. So I don't know if you could hear that, but the hospital is kicking us off their property. So we're going to walk over here. We need to get on a public sidewalk because this is private property. So we'll walk over here. The problem is there's so much crime scene tape and so many areas that are cordoned off. David, let's walk over here. Let's see. We'll just see how close. Ooh, I can smell. Ooh, the smell of fire. You can definitely smell that something has burned over here. Okay. Let's see. All right, so we're going to hike across the way over here. For those of you familiar with this area, we're in front of Desert Regional. Indian Canyon is just
Desert Regional.
On the other side of this building to my right, and this is the emergency room entrance right here on my left. And let's see if we can get off of the hospital property but onto the street. Oh, yeah, I think we can. I think we'll be okay over here. Okay, let's see. Huh?
You tagged me in the car. Thanks, Lynn. I'm gonna check it out right now.
Okay, let's
What's
see
up,
what
everybody?
we
If you
can
could
see
help
from
me out
this
with the like
vantage point.
button, helps me out. Help me out with the like button,
Okay.
please, in the algorithm. I'm not sure we had notifications, so just help me out. Please join the
All
mailing
right.
list
Oh,
too. We're working on
okay,
that.
so you can see, oh, there's the front of the building over there. Okay,
There's the
so
front
I
of the building.
think we may satisfy everybody. Okay, so let me tell you where we are. We are at the corner of Tachiva and Indian Canyon, and the actual building in question is just through those bushes over there. It is a separate building across the street from the hospital. It is some type of reproductive services office, we believe.
Yeah.
That's what the sign says out in front. You can see all the debris blown out onto Indian Canyon. And I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a lot of alarms going off. I think all the buildings adjacent to it have a lot of broken windows. There's broken windows up there. Look up on that building. All the adjacent buildings have broken out windows. Look, those are broken out over there, too.
Look at that. That's how massive that explosion
Wow.
was.
A lot of damage to the neighboring buildings. So, all right. Yeah, they're pushing. Okay, so I think we're okay. Yeah, they kicked us off. Okay, so again, no confirmation of what the cause of this is, but I'll tell you what I know as of right now. I think this call or this incident happened just a little after 11 a.m. this morning. I started getting phone calls from people, and there was a big flurry of activity on social media of people saying that some type of a major explosion had gone off somewhere over near the hospital. So, of course, we mobilized everybody, and we came over here, and indeed, that is apparently what has happened. It looks like the front of a medical office directly across the street from Desert Regional has been very seriously damaged by what it appears to be some type of explosion. We don't know what caused it, but some type of explosion that was powerful enough to blow a great amount of debris out onto Indian Canyon, and it has broken windows of all of these adjacent buildings. I'm looking around here, and many of the buildings next door and across the parking lot, and I know on the Desert Regional side of Indian, so all the way across Indian, they all have broken windows now. So it was obviously whatever caused the explosion, it was a significant explosion. We don't have any indication of any injuries. Have you heard anything about anybody being transported to the hospital? I have not. So
Somebody said one dead.
The good news is that Desert Regional is directly across the street and is still open for business, and the emergency room is it's literally a stone's throw from where this took place. So again, a lot of unanswered questions right now. It's very early on. We were just on the other side. If you're just joining us, you missed us walking all the way around the hospital. They were kicking us out of the area that we were because they're pushing all the media and all the public back out of an abundance of caution, I think, because they're not sure that the scene is yet secured. So they want to make sure there's no additional threat to anything or that anything else may explode for whatever the cause is. So they moved us all kind of a ways back. We are now we're at the emergency room entrance, basically, for Desert Regional Hospital, which is very close to the corner of Tachiva and Indian Canyon. So that's what we know right now. And like I said, what we don't know far outweighs what we know. At this point, that's the case with most of these situations. There's law enforcement helicopters circling, and I don't know if you can hear it, but there's alarms going off all over the place. There were car alarms going off. Those seem to have silenced, but I think a lot of these buildings that have damaged windows have building alarms going off. So, and you can smell in the air here. There's that sort of
maybe that's the
burn
car, yeah.
smell, like after a
Then, yeah.
fire. So you can definitely, you can tell something was on fire here. There is no smoke coming off of the building now, so I can tell you that whatever was burning appears to be out. And I will say that the firefighters were all standing around out in front of the building. So it was, I know it was interesting. They moved us out for our safety, but the firefighters were all just standing in front of the building.
Chill.
They didn't seem too concerned. But again, we were unclear about what caused this and about what the situation is over there now. The fire does appear to be out. Let me see if there's anybody else over here. There's a lot of people here, but I think people are just walking up. I don't know if anybody saw anything. Gio, have you talked
We got a live feed, too. I got a live feed, baby. Okay. I just want to see what this guy had to report. We're going to throw up a live feed on the screen. We've got two live feeds,
about this. So
there we go.
So again, I don't know of any.
All right, so let me put on the live feed now. What a crazy, crazy situation out there, man. What? Look at this shit.
The explosion was so crazy.
Hold on, you said before I put the live feed on, you tagged me in the car that exploded. Let's see here, Lynn here. This might have been the car right here, maybe. Yeah, that's the car. Massive, massive, big explosion. Oh, God, dude, don't do that. Human body on the ground. I should have looked before. This one right here is car. Damn. Jesus. Oh yeah, the live feed. Here.
Good afternoon, David Reese, News Director of NBC Palm Springs, coming to you live with some breaking news. In Palm Springs, a major explosion has happened in front of Fertility Medical Center across the street in a fertility plant. We understand that may have been a car bomb. So let me take you through
What a crazy situation. Let me see what else I can find. Oh, more information I can find. Definitely one deceased for sure. There is a body that was covered up. Couple of live feeds out there. Massive response. I mean, this is just like insane. Let me see if I can pull up the address again too. Where's the address for this place? American Reproductive Center. Let's see. Clinic. See what's around there. This place is really close to. I thought there was a hospital there. Oh, they have a medical center, Desert Regional Medical Center. This could be a disgruntled person. I mean, I don't know what kind of motive. When you think of motive, what kind of motive? What would be the possibility? Why would somebody blow this up? So, as we mentioned earlier, I mean, I don't know, disgruntled patient, partner, or employee, somebody with a personal vendetta, past lawsuits denied, or failed fertility procedure, or just straight up terrorism. You know, extremist views about reproductive technologies, IVF, embryo storage, radical anti-science, anti-clinic sentiments. You know, targeted attack on medical facilities. I don't think about that. Insurance or fraud. I doubt that. Random attack, mental health crisis. Probably mental health and maybe disgruntled. The volume a little bit. Crazy times, man.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I hear you.
Indian Canyon closed blocks and blocks in both directions. The same situation on Palm Canyon Drive. And again, we have confirmation from City News Service of one fatality and two people missing, but as Reverse Caitlin just mentioned, there apparently may be more people who are missing inside the building. And as she also mentioned, smell it. Medical weapons blowing down the street. Clearly better. Gio, if you want to pan over here, you can see a lot of water coming out of there. I think that they are those fire trucks that are down there.
I hear you. Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? No, she's on the phone with someone right now. She hears you. She's on IFB. She hears you. Technology.
Are we able to contribute that?
We use this news service for our what is it? Court stuff all the time.
Okay.
See if we have anything new over here. So they're saying FBI is on scene. FBI is on scene. U.S. Attorney Bill Essayal says, we are aware of the explosion that occurred this morning in Palm Springs. FBI is on scene. We will be investigating whether this was an intentional act. We will release as much information as soon as possible. So FBI has shown up.
Are we, so like, can we attribute City News Service? Are they? Yeah, because I don't want to go in there and say anything. They are apparently saying a confirmed fatality and 2 injuries.
According to KMIR.
Okay.
That's according to KMIR.
But I'm not. Okay.
Damn main exploding head face with monocle.
No,
what in the H3LL is going on these days,
Yeah,
man?
KMIR said City
It's
News
becoming
Service
a
said
daily
that.
thing. Sometimes multiple in a day. Heartbreak, folded hands, medium skin
I would say
tone,
medical
Latin
records
cross.
like this. I mean, I would.
Thank you so much for the 10. I'm multitasking like crazy to try to get the word out and also find new information. Thank you, Ange, for the 10. Appreciate that so much.
Are you guys reading the statement from Desert Regional, or do you want me to?
So FBI is on scene. Okay, FBI is scene. What else do we got?
Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3.
Desert Regional Emergency Department is open, but visitors are asked to stay away. Damn, bro, this dude's house has been resident near explosion. Had no idea what happened. His window. I gotta show you this picture. What is she doing? Is that somebody's?
Wait, Shay and Athena are in the same place as us. What are they doing? 5 minutes out.
Scoop up as far as you can.
Give me 1 second. I gotta save this. I'm gonna pull it up here.
Are you guys able to say that? Peter's saying that okay. He's saying the clinic just confirmed.
Clinic confirmed. I don't know why. There's a body on the ground. We saw somebody with a tarp on there. I don't know why they're having such a hard time confirming this.
Am I able to say that we talked to people who saw body parts on the street?
Ugh.
Okay.
I don't know why she's holding that up. So here's the picture. This guy's one of the residents. Look at this.
Gosh, my hair is so crazy.
Look at sliding doors are blown out. Wow. Kind of windy out there too, huh? She's trying to get. I guess she's getting ready to do a hit.
I wish I had a hair thing or a hat.
Yes. Okay. Just, you know what?
Setting new service.
So this resident here, his windows were blown out. There's some more pictures actually.
Copy. We're hearing
Pretty
one
wild.
dead, 2 injured possible. And can we confirm that it was a car that exploded?
Just take a couple steps over, you'll see the car burning.
Can I read the statement from the Desert Regional? Okay. Okay. To Chiva.
Oh, there's helicopter footage too. Okay, hold on. We gotta switch up. Get the helicopter video. Hold on. Just get that. It's a mouse. I don't know if I need to clean it or something.
Hi there, Peter. Obviously, it's still a very active scene here. I'm going to step out of the way so that you can see everything going on right now. There are dozens of police vehicles, emergency vehicles, fire trucks. We do know that bomb squad did just arrive on the scene. They have cleared the area. We are here at the intersection of Tachiva Drive and Indian Canyon Drive. Again, they did ask all of the firefighters, police officers, sheriff's deputies to step away from the clinic. We're going to send in the bomb squad to kind of check in on that. I did get a statement from the Desert Care Network here from Desert Regional, and they said, quote, on Saturday morning, an explosion occurred at an unaffiliated office building. Hospital staff is now cooperating with police as they investigate the cause. The emergency department, by the way, does remain open. The hospital is fully operational, but they are asking visitors to refrain from coming to the hospital right now as police have limited the access to the roadways in and out. So some of the windows, by the way, on the office building and on the a lot of surrounding buildings here were completely blown out. If you walk up and down the street, you'll just see glass all over the floor. You'll still smell some smoke in the air. It was pretty heavy this morning when I arrived on scene, but the smoke is no longer coming out of the building. Again, the windows in the hospital also broken in the front part directly facing the explosion. They also say hospital operations have not been affected. So if you do know anybody in the hospital, everybody inside is okay. They are asking for visitors to not come in. I want to show you something interesting that has been happening. So I want to be very careful not to show too much on this piece of paper here, but medical records. This is an ultrasound. Pieces of paper are just flying out of the building ever since it first opened up. Excuse me, it's a little windy out here. But you can just see these pieces of paper are flying down the street. So people's medical records are quite literally just blowing around here. And again, it's a fertility clinic. And so we've been trying to talk to someone, as you mentioned, City News Service confirming that one person is dead. We did have some people on scene tell us
really wonder if that person blew themselves up.
On the roadways.
Body parts, yeah.
Police did come
Crazy,
and cover
man.
them up
Crazy.
With a tarp, so they have been covered so the public can no longer see them. We did also hear some possible head injuries, lacerations to the face from people who were eating at a nearby restaurant, the Denny's. Those windows got blown out as well. And
That's
we were
the car
hearing
right
that
there.
glass actually got into people's faces and may have cut their faces as well. So we did hear from people on the scene that a lot of people were being checked out just for the glass cutting them. So once again, we're going to remain here all throughout the afternoon. You can see water is now starting to flow down the street from the amount of water that firefighters poured into the building when it was actively burning. I also spoke to a woman here on scene who said she worked at the clinic. She did not want to give me her name, but she tells me she was extremely worried about some possible nitrogen tanks that might have been inside the building. She was worried and telling firefighters and police that there was nitrogen tanks inside the building that may potentially catch on fire and explode. So that is why we believe the people on the front lines, the firefighters, were all pulled back away from the scene. We do believe that is the main concern as of right now, is those tanks possibly igniting. We haven't heard anything from police yet. They have set up a command center on the complete other side of the street, but they have not come over here. We haven't been able to get them to talk to us just yet. So as of right now, that is everything we know. We're going to continue talking to people. We do have some people that we spoke with earlier. They work at a dialysis clinic just down the road. I want to bring you some sound about what it was like those first moments when the explosion went off. Just keep going. Okay.
Roll with it. Debris everywhere. Thing blew up to pieces. Neighbors talking about their windows were blowing out. Sliding doors, glass flying in their faces. Some people were cut. It's crazy.
I think the biggest thing that people are telling us is just they're in shock. Things like this, like you just heard, don't happen here in Palm Springs. And people are really trying to figure out why something like this would happen. And, you know, obviously we do know that there was some sort of car explosion. And people are very worried around here. Neighbors that live nearby say their windows shook. They saw the smoke. And so we are really trying to speak with some people on the scene to figure out exactly what happened here. But that's the very latest from downtown Palm Springs. I'm Tori King with News Channel 3. I'll go ahead and send it back to you for now.
So they cut off the chopper feed. That looked crazy though, man. Oh man. And just look at the damage. And I wonder if the person that set this bomb off, are they the ones that are deceased? Did they set themselves, you know? What's up, TikTok? I'm normally not on here. If you guys could help me out with the follows, please. I need follows. I just need to get to 10,000. Share it out, whatever you guys gotta do.
I just got a message from someone who said that they're a patient at the fertility clinic and they don't want their medical records flying around town.
Nothing you can do about that. What are you gonna do? Chase after the papers and stuff? Damn, what's that? Wow. Tumble, I would say tumbleweed, but I don't know. Is that like a insulation? Looks like. Man, it's just crazy, man. For Saturday, it's like nonstop. Something knows happening, craziness. You can't have a peaceful weekend. So this guy, there was one guy that was talking about. Hello? Okay, thank you. Are they live on the scene? Okay, this person's out there live. Let's see. Oh, okay, cool. Let me see if I can pop this up, if it'll let me do it, so I have a little bit of control of this. Let's see. All right. Oh.
There's that.
Mic check, mic check. You guys should be able to hear me now. Sorry, I was muted. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. This guy's having connection problems. Yeah, I think this guy, maybe his connection cut off. We'll see. Keep an eye on it. Wow, 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 wow. So yeah, this guy had his windows blown out, the sliding door. Let me show you this. Pretty wild. Said it scared him. What's the better? Oh yeah. I mean, look at that. Boom. Vanderbilt points to damage from broken windows as fallen mirror inside his condo near where an explosion occurred. Franco and Daniel were still literally working on picking the pieces of broken window glass, a large mirror that had been knocked off the wall, and other damage their condo on Villa Las Palmas, west of Palm Canyon Drive, sustained from the blast. Ardito said they had been home and Bill had been playing with their dogs when they heard a loud boom. Ardito thought something happened with the dogs until he turned around and saw the broken windows. I would have thought it was the end of the world. I would have thought we got nuked. I was like, oh shit, I would have been right. Oh! I thought it was a terrorist attack or something. Windows, everything blown out. Wow. Orchids, too. Nice orchids. Damn. Reproductive system. I can read that in the background. What are reproductive centers? This clinic we talked about, it opened in 2006, provides a wide variety of fertility options, including IVF, male and female fertility evaluation, intrauterine insemination, egg donation, genetic testing, egg freezing, LGBTQ family building, surrogacy resources, and more. California Gavin Newsom briefed on Palm Springs explosion. Okay, Newsom's involved. A social media post said the state through California Governor's Office of Emergency Services is coordinating. Okay, so Newsom's aware. I hope that brings comfort to some. Comfort and peace. How about that? All right.
I'm gonna give it to the police officer and then come back over there. So put it under the wheel. I want it under the wheel. Yeah. I don't want them to but I want to keep it from blowing.
Car explosion, massive explosion. Outside of a fertility clinic. Oh, what happened? Oh. Okay, the computer's breezing through all the streaming. Amazing. Cakewalk.
And I don't know what CNN's taking off both our stuff right now.
See if anything's going on the radio.
No, that's someone's ultrasound right there.
Somebody's ultrasound. Uh-oh. Oh, Chopper's back? Oh, the Chopper's back. They suckered me. All right, let's get the Chopper up. Let's get it. Let's get it.
So you're locked out of your car. I probably am out of mine too then.
All right, I'm back live. Look, you guys are looking at it.
Let's get the Chopper up.
They said they lived half a mile away and they felt it from their house and walked.
Damn, fell from the house, huh?
But they said it was so loud from half a mile away, they thought the car went into their house.
Here's 6 Austin. 6 Austin.
There it is. Look how blown that thing is, man. That's crazy. Boom, I got you guys. I got you. How you like that? Advanced. Ah. Okay, so the people that for the people that have just joined, I'll do a little mini recap. Let me get it. There was this really good article that I had here. What a day, man. I said I was going to do a bunch of things around the house. Okay, so basically there was a massive boom that rocked downtown Palm Springs on Saturday, and it appears that a car explosion near the American Reproductive Center Clinic on Northern Indian Cannon Drive. That's where the explosion happened. It was just this huge explosion by this clinic. The car blew up. The clinic seems to be blown to pieces. That's an aerial view right there. One person, at least one person deceased. There was a body, some people injured. Nobody knows the motive. This is in Palm Springs, California. FBI's there. It's being investigated. And it's just this crazy, massive scene. FBI's already on there. It's near this a hospital as well. A hospital called Desert Regional Medical Plaza. It's near that as well. Ugh. So, I don't know. People were talking about possible motives. What could be the motive? I don't know. It's a fertility clinic. It was a disgruntled patient. Did somebody get bad services? I looked at reviews earlier. There was only 2 bad reviews. It has 4.5 stars. I only saw 2 bad reviews. Somebody from like 8 months ago, they were like, this was just like a nightmare. And like, I saw 3 bad reviews, I think. So it could be a situation like that where somebody got a botched procedure or somebody's just pissed off. There was one of the hospital shootings that we covered. It was somebody like a disgruntled patient or their family member was a patient, and they came back.
Springs engine 93 is in quarter station 2.
Oh. Yeah, that's what's on the screen, I think. The helicopter. You see the helicopter footage, right? What are you looking at? That's a. Yeah, I'll take a look. Okay. Okay, I'll take a look. Thanks. All right, bye. ABC's live, yeah.
So it's likely the
Let's check out ABC,
administrative area. We have to worry about record keeping at this point, although you hope most of that is digitized and somewhere accessible. But we can see papers and it looks like some cabinets, some built pieces of building lining the roadway, and that is all stuff that this business used in the handling of their work. And so this is across the street now. This is the opposite side of the explosion itself, debris reaching the entrance or the exit to Desert Regional. And you can see the response here on the scene from those Palm Springs fire trucks and ambulances. Palm Springs choosing to go with the white trucks, but those are just your average fire trucks, just painted a different color, not what we're entirely used to seeing, but that is Palm Springs. Those who live there and visit are aware. I'm told there is a body. Yes, okay, so here is the one person who was killed in this blast, or subsequent to this blast. We don't exactly know whether this, we have heard from authorities that the suspect is dead. We don't believe there are any additional fatalities in this, and we don't know whether the person, that suspect, was killed in the blast itself or in an encounter with law enforcement or someone else. And so we do know one person is there under that sheet on scene, like on the roadway. I have yet to see that body in any of our aerial footage unless I have just missed it. But we cannot say at this time whether that person was killed in the explosion or whether they were killed by another cause, perhaps an interaction with law enforcement. But again, on the left side, we are getting an overhead look at the aftermath of this explosion. This is not the side of the building where the car was parked. If we pan to the left, I'm not sure if our pilot and camera operator can hear us, but to the left is the parking lot. Back there, you can see the remains of that car.
It's back in the parking lot. Look at that. You see that? Left side of the screen.
I don't believe where the car wound up is where the car began, where it was. You'd have to think it was parked right outside the doorway in the parking lot and was blown backwards. This is the street side, but if our camera operator can pan up, we can see where that car is. It's just a charred husk of a vehicle. On the right side looks like the one fatality, covered with a sheet lying in the roadway. And I don't see any debris on the road here in that shot, which leads me to believe that this did not happen. This person did not perish right outside the clinic. I could be wrong, and we could be seeing things a little off, but it doesn't look like that person is lying down in a roadway at the scene of this explosion. That is something the FBI is now going to be investigating. Palm Springs detectives, the state OES is investigating this as well, but this is a live look on the left of Desert Regional Medical Center. The damage, the force of this blast, breaking those windows. Those windows are either third or fourth floor level.
There are great people that live here and people that get along. And I'm worried. I'm seeing on the news now that it could be a bomb, and that's hate. And that's not what we're about in Palm Springs. Hate never
Political?
solves any issues. Never.
Is this political, you guys think? Politics?
And you're coming out. I know you said you haven't been out in a few hours, but now you're looking at everything. You're seeing the glass. What is this making you think? I feel like probably disbelief. How are you feeling?
I am sad for the loss of life, but I'm sad for the community as a whole and what this type of act represents.
Trump's fault?
It's not right. And hopefully everybody is about doing what's right.
What's your name, sir?
David Martz.
Martz, M-A-R-T-S?
TZ.
All right, thank you, David. Stay safe.
2 years.
2 years. Thank you, David. Stay safe.
Scary, though, too.
Really scary. I mean, even just hearing all this.
Imagine he was the one that blew the shit up.
Seeing.
This is a nice place. This is crazy. It's just hate. This is hateful.
All right.
It's so intriguing to come back to the scene of the crime.
David, stay
Just kidding. I'm just saying, imagine, right?
They should just cut.
All right, let's check out back ABC because I like the aerial view.
Typical architecture of Palm Springs, but that is active water pouring out of this.
Wow. Yo.
Onto the ground below. And again, this is the backside of another adjacent building, pretty far in distance from the reproductive clinic. Again, we cannot understate how forceful this explosion was as we continue to
huge, massive
some
explosion.
news
Yeah.
here. The FBI is now responding to this scene with police and fire partners at this explosion. Bomb technicians and evidence response team are en route, if not already there. They say contact local authorities, but they are telling people, as are those in the area, to stay away from this. Again, from the clinic itself, on that Facebook post, they said, "We are immensely grateful to share that no members of the ARC team were harmed, and our lab, including all eggs, embryos, and reproductive materials, remains fully secure and undamaged." Incredible that happened there, that this was not touched by this explosion. They continue, "Our mission has always been to help build families, and in times like these, we are reminded of just how fragile and precious life is. In the face of this tragedy, we remain committed to creating hope because we believe that healing begins with community, compassion, and care. Out of every tragedy, there is an opportunity to come together with deeper purpose. While today's events have shaken us all, they also shine a light on the strength of our community, the bravery of our first responders, and the resilience of the families we serve." So that is, you're seeing more of this statement from Dr. Maher Abdallah, who runs the reproductive clinic, the American Reproductive Center's clinic here in Palm Springs. But again, if you're just now tuning in, if you're just joining us, this is a live look from Air 7 in Palm Springs. This is a fertility clinic that was hit by, it looks like a car bomb today, a major explosion in this parking lot. And if you look in the center of your screen, that's the remains of the car, we believe. And you can see kind of like the drag marks going across the parking lot to where that wound up in the middle of the parking lot. It looks like maybe a dumpster structure, but the car is there, and it looks like it slid across the parking lot, blew the front of the building out onto the street, and then blew out windows across the street at Desert Regional Medical Center, at the other buildings in that parking lot, 1, 2, 3, all suffering some major damage here. And on the right side of your screen, this is video sent in from eyewitnesses. This is the direct aftermath. The building is still on fire at this point. Firefighters back in the parking lot working to either put out the car or the building itself. These are more buildings that were damaged very close to this explosion. And pieces of the vehicle or the building were sent up and over those other adjacent buildings and into this parking lot. And again, windows blown out. We saw water rushing from the window of another unit in an adjacent building to this parking lot. But a major explosion rocking Palm Springs this morning. This happened a little after 11 o'clock. And firefighters, FBI, more investigators are responding. You can see on the live look from Air 7, you can see some walking down Indian Canyon Drive right now. That is where this explosion took place, and the roof of this building just crumpling over this explosion.
Wow.
The two ends, the two wings of the building look like they are largely intact. You would think that is where the laboratory would be, since that is what survived this explosion. But look at the roof. The tiles have been shaken on the other building. Windows have been blown out. Crumpled in the middle there is what's left of, we believe, the car where these explosives were housed. It's just, it's hard to make out what kind of car this was. It just looks like a normal kind of sedan, but we cannot tell. There's nothing left but the frame. I don't know, Mike is more of a car expert, our director, if he can recognize anything resembling any kind of make or model from that. It's pretty tough at this point.
Not a Tesla?
Make anything out, but you can see exactly where the car was parked, the streaks on the ground, dragging that car across, and it looks like it was parked just directly outside the door. The entire wall of that building is gone. The roof has collapsed, and this building is a mess. Again, somehow the laboratory inside this fertility clinic was undamaged. All of the reproductive materials, the embryos, the eggs have survived this explosion, and one person has been killed in this. 5 others have been injured. We are told that anyone who works at this facility, which it looks like was the target of this explosion, is okay. We have seen a sheet covering that one body, which we assume is the one body, and we're hearing from law enforcement that is the suspect in this case, lying on the ground, covered in that sheet. So oftentimes in mass casualty events, they don't often count the suspect among those killed. Those can be counted separately. But in this, we believe the one fatality was the suspect themselves. We are awaiting word from law enforcement on scene whether this was someone who lost their life in the explosion or whether they were killed in some kind of altercation with police. So I just saw in the adjacent building there, El Mirador Medical Plaza. That is, I believe, separate from the hospital itself, or is that part of the hospital? Let's see. So the medical plaza is there part of Desert Regional's, it's their outpatient
across the
surgery
street,
center.
I think.
Okay, so that is part of officially Desert Regional Medical Center. That El Mirador Medical Plaza is part of that facility. This is the large gathering of law enforcement here. I don't know what jurisdiction those white trucks are for, but we did know that FBI is on scene. Palm Springs Police has responded. Palm Springs Fire is on scene as well.
Oh, that's the body right there too, guys. They're moving away now, but they still have the body on the ground.
Okay, let's go right now to Elena Gomez, our reporter who is now on scene. She is joining us on the phone. Elena, where are you and what can you see?
Yeah, so I am at the end of Via Lola and North Indian Canyon Drive right now. So this is at the very end of the perimeter. So if you're familiar with Palm Springs, you get off on the 10. That is sort of the road that is blocked off at the road of Stevens to Via Lola. So I'm at the very end of where it's blocked off. But where the explosion happened is just pretty close to me, probably like a block or so away, but obviously it's blocked off. So I calculated just how far. It's about less than half a mile is blocked. So a big part of this main thoroughfare here is blocked off at the moment. There's police, fire. There's a bus even stopped right here. And just sort of the surrounding area from where I am, there's a lot of residential homes that are off of the sort of the main area here. And so everyone's kind of being diverted to kind of go around this main road here off of North Indian Canyon at the moment.
All right, Elena, stand by. We will continue to check in with you momentarily. I just want to take us back to Air 7 because I believe we found the location of where that body is. This is on the back. This is on the back road from where this explosion took place. So this is a good ways away from the explosion itself. There is the body covered with a sheet in the middle of the road, and this is a good distance. So again, we are waiting word from law enforcement. That roadway is blocked as well. That might be Palm Canyon Drive. If I'm just looking for, no, this is, let's see. It is Via Lola. Is that Via Lola? On the other side of the roadway. So that body is a good distance away from the explosion itself. Again, we don't know whether that person was killed directly from the result of this explosion or whether this was an encounter with law enforcement trying to get away. But this was a massive, massive explosion. And if we can get back to Elena right now, there are ways, Elena, there are ways around for those who are going to downtown Palm Springs. This is the main drag, basically, Palm Canyon Drive, and then Indian Canyon Drive is the northbound road when you're in downtown Palm Springs. That is closed a little bit outside of downtown. But what are you seeing right now? The response, are there people around watching? Can you see any smoke in the area? What's the scene, the tone of the scene there?
Yeah, no smoke, and honestly, not a lot of people exactly here kind of walking around. I mean, there are some people kind of walking around, but not a lot of people just stopping to look at this area. I don't see any smoke. I will say in Palm Springs right now, even driving in, it was incredibly windy right now, and it is still fairly windy in this area as well. So I'm not seeing any smoke at the moment. I just see a lot of staging set up. So I'm seeing at least 2 fire trucks here, multiple sheriffs. I mean, this is just sprawled out, like I said, for about less than half a mile or so, just down that main thoroughfare here. Police stations, the whole area just kind of blocked off with yellow tape at the moment. I try to talk to some other officers to see where sort of a great staging area would be for media so we can start to get some updates, and they're still working on that. So obviously the scene is still flowing at the moment, but yes, multiple officers here, 2 fire trucks that I can see from where I'm at. But yeah, a whole area here is really stretched and blocked off for the time being.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that report. Please check in if you learn anything else. I'd love to hear from people who are in the area who heard this. We have reports that this was heard all the way around Palm Springs, and given the force of this explosion, we imagine that most of the city was able to feel this, knew something had happened. I know a lot of people said they felt the ground shaking, thought this might have been an earthquake. But again, that was Palm Canyon Drive. Now on the left of your screen, Indian Canyon Drive is where this building is. But the body is back on the back side of Palm Canyon Drive. There's a ground level look at it. This is not this is not close to where this explosion took place. On the left side is Indian Canyon Drive. This is the front of the building, but it's the opposite side of the building from where this car bomb went off. It ripped through the entire building, blew out the doors on this side of the building. And when Air 7 circles back around, I want to take a look again at the explosion side, the parking lot side of this building. But there is the car. We believe that the explosives were housed in. This car bomb going off a little after 11 o'clock.
The end of times.
And it just completely ripped the front of this
The end of the world.
The roof. We don't know if anyone was inside at the time, but what an experience that was.
Everybody's gone mad, crazy. Nobody's happy.
Again, the lab that stores all the embryos and the eggs and the reproductive materials, we are told, survived, made it through this explosion.
Oh, no.
Somehow. We're not damaged. And so all of those prospective parents out there who were hoping they would be able to use this material to grow a family, to start a family, that is
survived,
still intact. And
wow,
this explosion. And so
that is bomb-proof,
a great glimmer
sperm
of good news
containers
out of this terror that ripped through Palm Springs today. As Air 7 continues to cycle around, you can see ARC, American Reproductive Centers, on Indian Canyon Drive. This is the target at the bottom of our screen.
Wow, so the target failed. The person failed. What did they say? All the reproductive systems survived? The containers full of stuff and the whatever, it survived. I wonder if this person blew themselves up. Is that the deceased person? They blew themselves up and everything's actually intact inside? Wow.
Told were injured in this. The FBI is now investigating.
The eggs were not scrambled, Gary.
Other law enforcement agencies from this area and around the state. The governor is aware of what has happened, and it says the Office of Emergency Management is now taking part in this investigation. This is a crime scene that will likely be closed well into the night, if not well into tomorrow as well. There is a lot to look at here. There is a death in this case. There are multiple injuries, and we have what looks like a possible terrorist attack. Motives unknown at this point, but it does look like an intentional act by this believed suspect, who is, we believe, we are told, is beneath that sheet there, lying in the middle of Palm Canyon Drive. Again, this was a very powerful explosion. All of the adjacent buildings around here have suffered damage. Those not connected with this facility, I think we're looking at one right now. That looks like the windows were blown out. There's damage and debris all around this building, even on sides that weren't exposed to this blast. The concussive force so strong that it took out
the force. Look at that.
It took out windows, and it took
Holy
out.
moly! Check this out. Look at this. Let me zoom this in.
There's one water pipe burst in a unit.
Look at that.
Building.
Wow! What the? This is one bomb.
All of those HVAC units will likely need to be fixed. All these windows will need to be
clinic?
replaced. And
look at that.
Merchandise inside of these. Looks
is
like
that, a hotel?
Store here will need to be replaced. And boy, this was a large and scary explosion here at this fertility clinic. Fortunately, no one
who made the bomb
involved in this clinic was killed. And we see all these buildings here in the adjacent buildings.
Is there more than just one person involved? Did this person make the bomb themselves? Was it a sacrifice? Were they a martyr? They martyred themselves. I mean, the person is... I wonder how far the person is from the car that's deceased. Wow, man, this is incredible, though. It's just insane to see.
The hospital itself suffered damage. Wow. Look, this is the backside, about 2 blocks away.
Wow.
They
it's
suffered
crazy.
Damage, and all of these windows blew out. This
2 blocks away.
This is a building. This is a structure that does not face this explosion, and somehow the concussive force was able to blow out the windows at this hotel onto the pool area, and so they suffered. When we zoom back out here, look at where this is in connection to where this building is. So that's Palm Canyon Drive at the top of your screen as we just continue to look for more damage around here. These are buildings that are not close to the explosion.
Viva, thank you.
And yet suffered all this damage on exposures that don't face the explosion itself. So here's Palm Canyon Drive. Look at the building that we just looked at with the pool. Those rear buildings were blown out, and the explosion was back up the road and across this parking lot way to the right, the opposite side of where those windows were blown out. It's now at the bottom of your screen. So just the reach of this explosion and where this damage hit is just staggering to see directionally where it traveled. It's incredible that this one explosion from a car in a parking lot on one block could affect the opposite side of large structures, hotel windows, blocks away. And again, on the right side, this is video taken by witnesses on scene shortly after it. There's still black smoke rising into the air. The building was on fire, and we're going to be able to see a firefighter there extending hose to put out some fire, either the car that was still burning in the parking lot or the building itself, which again looks somehow it's red tagged at this point. It looks like a total loss, but somehow the lab inside of that building survived. We know that medical facilities have been targets before. Abortion clinics have been targets for decades with attacks and bombs and assaults and murders. And one has to wonder whether the person who pulled this off believed this to be an abortion clinic or a facility connected to abortions, and whether that might have been a motivation in this attack. But as we know it, this is a fertility clinic working on things like IVF, embryo, egg extraction, working on growing families. And so whatever it is, it's a disturbing attack, and it's a scary attack to happen in our area here. This explosion ripping through Palm Springs a little after 11 a.m. this morning. I want to welcome in Sophie Flay, who's now joining us for more on this coverage.
Yes, and again, as you mentioned earlier, Jory, we know that from this reproductive center, all eggs, embryos, and reproductive medical and materials remain fully secure and undamaged. That is from a statement that we got from that reproductive center, the American Reproductive Center here. And so we know, thankfully that those within that center, we know that those are okay. Again, if you are looking at
So like, what are they like what are they talking about? Like sperm and stuff, containers and stuff like that. Survive, but I thought they didn't consider them lives. So, but anyway, yeah, I wonder if they have like that stuff contained in like a super bomb-proof room or something, like extra protection. There's the car. You can see the car right there.
We've seen at this.
Wow, look at the car.
See that this is
what kind of car? Anybody?
Water pouring out of whatever building this is, whether it's housing or it's an office space. We know that this has impacted so many of the structures around the explosion. Again, here is a closer look of really how badly impacted this building was from this car explosion. You can see some furniture kind of thrown to the side there from where this attack happened, and even into the street.
Frozen.
Debris falling from this building straight into the street here. You can see parts of the building. You can see bricks. I mean, the roof just fully kind of blown out here on this street, right outside of the reproductive center. Hoses, it looks like. So much destroyed. Luckily, we know again that the eggs, the embryos, the reproductive materials that is housed by the center, those are okay. But you can see, I think that the
eggs are okay, guys.
That was involved in that explosion. You can see completely just decimated right next door to where this explosion happened.
Yeah, from one of the witnesses who are on scene, from Alan, who I believe sent us some video, said he was on scene. He lives in Palm Springs during weekends, and he's in Hermosa Beach during the week. Said that this was the loudest. This noise was the loudest I ever heard outside a crash of an A-7 jet hitting the University of Arizona in Tucson that I witnessed, and just. That tracks now with what we're seeing as the aftermath, Sophie. I mean, the parking lot is where this car is, and most of the damage is on the front side, the far side of the building, and the hospital across the street. All of the adjacent buildings in this parking lot suffered damage.
Look at that shit.
Buildings in the surrounding blocks suffered damage. This was a major explosion, and I'm looking forward to hearing from law enforcement to see what could have made this explosion so powerful. What kind of explosives were used? Who do we have? We have Alan. Okay, great. We have Alan, who shot some video for us, joining us on the phone. Alan, thanks for taking this video for us and getting it to us. And if you could just kind of walk us through what your morning was like going through this.
It was a unique sound, like a sonic boom, and that was about 10:55, almost 11 a.m. and I thought it was an earthquake because things rattled and knocked off his shelves. And I'm a quarter mile from the bomb site of the explosion, and I never heard anything that unique, except early on in my journalism career. I was a reporter once. I heard a jet crash, an A7 blow up in a street in Tucson near the University of Arizona, and it was the most unique sound. And I thought for sure a helicopter had crashed, or again, a sonic boom. Maybe it was a Musk rocket that took off. And I never identified it. Neighbors were out, horns were honking from alarms. And I was, like I said, a quarter mile away. I got on my bike, rode up there, and took a look, and fire were just responding the same time I was. And it was just so unbelievable because it was so little smoke. And the smoke that went straight up, and it wasn't a lot, but things were blowing out about at least a block around the site. And the big surprise to me was the unique sound of that explosion. I'll never forget it this far away.
If you could, I know we always hear fireworks this time of year as we lead up to July 4th, and then occasionally we'll hear one that sounds a little different. Was it deeper? Was it the fact that you might have felt it? If you could try and put into words, what was so different about this sound that you hadn't heard before?
No, exactly. It was a shock wave. It was like a wave of energy that hit the glass first out to the front of my house. It faced the Desert Medical Center, but clearly blocks away. And I saw the glass, it was rattling, and then the boom, and it knocked glasses on shelves around. It knocked a few knickknacks that are in my kitchen, and I was stunned. And the dogs were stunned. They didn't even
you want to pull? Me see, what's up, man? Where the hell you been?
Safe. And that's what everybody felt. I went out to the driveway, and neighbors were starting to come out. I was like, are we safe? Is that... Because you couldn't see any smoke. You didn't know what was going on. It was just that blast. So I thought it was just a unique rocket ship. And then I guessed that it had to be near the hospital. And I just figured the gas, what they use in emergency care, something wasn't secure and probably blew up at the hospital. And when I got there, people were running my way against it. And I thought, this is really unique. And then it wasn't the hospital. It was across the street in a very small explosion space for such a huge noise and a big shock wave that was felt now, I believe, at least 2 miles away from it.
Yeah.
It was really unique to see only one building blowing out and blowing through. And I went behind it before the firemen came, and there was a guy...
Oh, boy.
Back there.
Oh, don't say that, man. Sorry to hear that.
Guy. I know you were talking to one earlier, and he said that had to be a car bomb because it's blasted from this courtyard where he and I were looking, and it went out to the east, and we were in the west part of the building, the courtyard where the car was smoldering, and there were car parts.
Damn, dude, I'm sorry.
Bumpers and ripped siding, and he said that had to be a car bomb, and the way it fanned out. And then, of course, police came, firemen, and they were very nice, actually, and just said, step aside. You probably should get out of here. We don't know if it's a single explosion, which made sense. And so we scattered and got our pictures and looked around, and at least that half-mile radius, I never saw such destruction except maybe the Northridge earthquake.
Yeah, Alan, you mentioned that you got there, pretty quickly before even some emergency responders. What was it like? Was it busy? Was it not busy? What was it like when you first got there?
I was surprised that I wouldn't call it chaotic. It was just people were stunned, and there had to be 200 or 300 people that left their houses and hotels nearby and were just wandering around looking nervous, maybe scared, I'm sure. And it was uncomfortable. And the surprise to me was the hospital, that there were no gurneys, no paramedics, nobody but fire and police were showing up right after us at that scene, and it wasn't really secure yet. That they got their hoses out immediately and started watering down. And I was expecting, sadly, human remains, body parts from something like this, but nothing. But I'm sure it had to be a car bomb because it looked like it was in the middle of a courtyard of a smoldering car, which I had a picture of the fire hose. Just got there about the time I'm taking the picture, and it looked like everything had blasted to the east. But people were pretty surprised and stunned, hopeful, talkative. And the big surprise is I can't believe more people weren't hurt because the parts of the car and glass were a good 3, 4, 5 blocks around that explosion area.
Wow.
And it was in the street and parking areas, and people's car shattered and broken.
Yeah.
It's just so odd.
Yeah, and it looks like that car was sent all the way across that courtyard from the building front to the middle. Alan, I want to thank you. Thanks for putting your reporter hat on for us again and doing what you do best. We really appreciate it. Thank you for watching and for letting us know what you see. I'd love to talk to you more. I know that Air 7 has about just a few minutes left of fuel for us to be able to continue this coverage. So for this stream right now, we do need to wrap up our coverage. We have about a minute and a half left, but just recapping the day's events. Around 11 o'clock today, it looks like a
crazy
car bomb
day,
went
crazy
off
day
outside a fertility clinic in Palm Springs. It blew the entire building. The front of it is off. The backside blew out onto the roadway, Indian Canyon Drive.
Mic
Desert
check for
Regional
TikTok.
Medical Center is across the street. That suffered damage. All of the buildings in the adjacent parking lot, those suffered damage. Resorts in the surrounding blocks, those also suffered damage as well. And the cleanup is not going to begin until the investigation continues.
And we know at least 5 people have been injured in this explosion. A suspect is believed to be dead, according to ABC News, and we will continue to bring you updates as our report.
So the suspect blew himself up.
Accounts of what they are seeing after this huge explosion.
Elena Gomez, our reporter, is on scene. She is gathering interviews and reports right now. We also have other sources in the area who are continuing to see what is going on, but we will continue our coverage throughout the afternoon and the evening of what appears to be an attack on a fertility clinic in Palm Springs. Our next coverage, I believe, will be 3:30. We come on the air on Air 7 at 3:30 this afternoon for Eyewitness News. And in the meantime, you can continue to cover our streaming channel, our ABC7 Los Angeles app, and our website, abc7.com. We also send out push alerts and updates to all of our social media accounts, so make sure you tune in. Again, we'll have the latest coming up on this major explosion in Palm Springs that you are seeing the aftermath of coming up on Eyewitness News at 3:30.
We'll see you then.
Make a post. I just made a post. Let's see. My computer, I think, is working. All right, we'll put up this chopper. Let's see how long. I don't know how long the chopper will be there. We still have footage on the ground. We have ground footage, and we have chopper footage. Let me see. Does it switch it around? Yeah, switch it around. I don't know, man. Such a big ass explosion. And it looks like maybe the suspect, I guess, blew himself up. This looks like maybe they got a command center here. And I did a poll on YouTube. The poll was kind of hard to pick some options, but I put either domestic terror or extremist attack as number 1. A murder plot. Somebody just wanted to murder somebody. Disgruntled patient. Either they were the patient or a family member. Or mental crisis / unaliving. 61% said domestic terror or extremist attack. And it could be, I mean, I don't know, fertility clinic out of all places. Usually it's to send some type of message, right? Unless you were just like disgruntled. Let me check if the website has any updates here. My phone is just nonstop going off notifications. It's X. Okay. Wow, look at that Desert Regional Medical Center. Let me check this article that had updates. I guess we'll stay tuned to see what else pops up with this. I mean, we have a couple of stories to keep an eye on. We have this explosion. We have the inmates that escaped in the crazy tornado, bad weather, Kentucky, Missouri. I forget where else. And listen, if this person apparently just blew themselves up, it's amazing nobody got killed besides that person. If that's the case, I'm, glad and elated. Not happy person's dead, but the way this thing it could have been way worse. Was this place closed? Or are they even open on weekends? FBI's on scene. American Reproductive Center staff safe. So the staff is safe. Staff is safe. So was this person's, was their motivation to damage this place? Was it a political thing or some type of extremist thing where they disagreed with what was going on in this place? And so they were hoping not only to just off themselves, but to blow up the place, damage the eggs and everything like that, maybe kill some people. And in the end, nothing was damaged. I mean, I'm sorry. There was a lot of damage. I meant the eggs and the embryos are not damaged. The eggs and embryos are not damaged. Everything's intact and no employees are killed. That's what I understand. Some of these people, you almost, I guess you have to lob it in with mental health because you go, how much time did this person spend constructing the bomb and planning this out and plotting and planning, maybe stalking the place hours and days and months? I don't know if they went that deep. The clinic will be back. Supposedly, it's going to open back again on Monday. The clinic will be back open. How? Wait, how? This thing said Monday? Let me read what it said. Hold on. American Reproductive Centers and Facilities. How's it going to be back open? Fertility Center IVF Lab released a statement on Facebook Saturday afternoon following the explosion. Dr. Mahura Abdallah said a vehicle exploded in the parking lot near the building. No members of the ARC team were harmed, and the lab, including eggs, embryos, and reproductive materials, were fully secure and undamaged. Abdallah wrote that the staff conducted a safety inspection and confirmed that the operations and sensitive medical materials and areas were not impacted by the blast. How do you even do that? How did they? When this whole thing is obliterated, it's a dangerous scene. They don't want people around there. You guys were able to go in there and check on everything? At least one fatality is suspected after the explosion. One local resident on the scene described it as grisly. Abdallah said the clinic will be fully operational by Monday and open? What? That's crazy. How is that shit gonna be operational on Monday? Has he looked at this video? The live stream? Dr. Mahir Abdallah. All right, let me see. Can I find they released a statement on Facebook. All right, let's go to the horse's mouth then. Let's see. Is that a saying? The horse's mouth, or is it something else? I think it's the horse's mouth. Why is that a saying though? Why is it the horse's mouth? Where does that come from? I can find the page. Can't find the Facebook page. Where's America? Here it is. Yo, they made it. They made a post. Will be fully operational Monday. Arc will be, maybe he's just talking about like the phone lines or something. There's no way this building's up on Monday. Right? Arc will be fully operational on Monday, and our teams are here to answer any questions. Doctor, okay, so they're standing strong. We're not stopping with the operation. You failed. Your embryo, you wanted to blow up the embryos and eggs. All that failed. Wow. That's wild. How the hell? I don't know. Open back on Monday for business. Oh, they cut the feed. Oh, no, they didn't. Wow. Oh, thank you, Madam Mom. So I said, is X working? People said yes, but Grok said there appears to be some people experiencing outages. An app outage. Oh, okay, maybe because I'm on the computer, I don't experience. Okay. All right. Holy. So much for the Saturday, man. I guess we'll have to see when we find out the identity of the person. Bodybuilder left in coma after spending $46,000 in steroids. Holy crap. Let me check for any other updates. Let's close this out. Wow. Okay. So yeah, majority believe some type of domestic terror extremist attack. 63%. Okay. I found out. I will let you guys know when I find out. Palm Springs. Who's this guy? The identity of the deceased has not been released publicly yet. Yeah, we'll have to find out. Let's find out what the motive is. Mental health.
Tell us about what the center says.
So the center is saying they're offering condolences to all the families who were affected here, and they are noting that none of their staff members were injured in this blast. And also, you know, this is a fertility clinic, so there are a lot of questions about this deeply personal resources that they have in this clinic, the embryos, the frozen eggs, right, that they have on ice, usually in nitrogen canisters. And so one of the big questions going into this was, what is the condition of that? Were they damaged? Are they protected from this kind of explosion? And they did say that none of their resources,
Close it up, actually.
Yeah, and they have.
And also, you know, this is a fertility clinic, so there are a lot of questions about this deeply personal resources that they have in this clinic, the embryos, the frozen eggs, right, that they have on ice, usually in nitrogen canisters. And so one of the big questions going into this was, what is the condition of that? Were they damaged? Are they protected from this kind of explosion? And they did say that none of their resources, including those frozen embryos and eggs, appear to be damaged.
Okay. Let me see, somebody tagged me. Straight from the horse's mouth. A potential buyer would examine a horse's mouth to assess its condition and age by looking at the teeth and gums. This practice likely led to the idea that the most reliable information would come directly from the horse's mouth itself. That's really cool. I didn't know that. Okay. Wow. Yeah, straight from North Mouse. Oh, yeah, it does say that. Interesting. Thanks, Bit Matrix. Thank you. So Jennifer Confidant made a tweet, and so she thinks it's an act of terrorism. That's what most of the votes said in the chat. The business stored unborn embryos. The business assisted those unable to have children. This business was bombed with a purported car bomb. One person has died. This is likely an act of domestic terrorism. The ATF and FBI are investigating.
I'm here in Palm Springs, California. I was here visiting for a couple of weeks, and I just heard a huge explosion when I was down at the Patterson Center. Somebody said it's the medical facility. I'm going in right now. Fella just told me this was a terrorist attack. This was a terrorist attack on an abortion clinic. So anyway. And the fella just told me there are body parts around. It was a car bomb apparently. But this is all I've got from Palm Springs right now. But this is it. This is a terrorist attack. attack. It was a car bomb. I was a few blocks away. I heard this huge explosion, looked up, saw the black smoke headed from this way. But there is debris. Yeah. Okay, super. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate you. So we'll be getting.
I think he accidentally set the car bomb. Oh, okay. That, maybe he never meant to blow himself up. Maybe he trying to install it in the vehicle. Yeah, maybe the thing went off before he even anticipated. Similar to the Trump Cybertruck explosion, but not in the Cybertruck. Man. All right, let me take a little scan. Any other updates, and then if not, we'll just let's see. We'll come back. Palm Springs. That is crazy, dude, to see all that chaos and destruction from one person, a bomb, you know? Seemed like nobody was around. This guy did this on a weekend. Everybody was out. It doesn't seem like anybody was maybe even inside of the facility. Didn't, you know, the only thing they did was blow themselves up and damage a bunch of buildings around and scare people. What was the purpose of that? Yeah, I guess they didn't complete their objective, and I guess if that's the person that's deceased, I guess they don't care to know if they completed it or not, unless it was an accident. Like BC said, unless they didn't meant to blow themselves up, they wanted to set a timer or something, or they were going to leave it there and then walk away. And it went off.
Tough part of this one.
Wow, man. Busy weekend. All right, I guess I'm going to jump off for a little bit. I'm just around the house, so if something pops off, I'll be able to jump on, but I wanted to do a little bit of cleaning, and I was dumping some stuff earlier. Actually, I need to work on the garden. Work on the garden outside. So I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. See you guys in 10, right? As soon as I step away to go do something. Pressure in 30 minutes for what? For this situation? Belinda? Let's see. Hello? Oh, okay. I'll see if I can find it. No, I'm still on. I'm going to look for it. Okay. All right, bye. Press conference. Let's see. I'll take a look and see if I can find it. Maybe it's on. That feed's cut. Oh, I don't know who this is right now. Okay. Live coverage. Watch live coverage.
We've tried everything.
It went offline. I'll see if I can find something for the presser. Oh, they. That was the feed that got cut off too. Okay. Menendez brothers. Looks like they're gonna get out. The Menendez. Elaine says very disappointing when IF doesn't work. It's very expensive too, right? It's a lot of money. They're talking about this. There's like a presser right now about this Laurel County tornado, the deaths. Aftermath. Huh. Oh, here's some more video.
Yes, really. Liquor store got it. Yes, really.
Damn, bro. I don't see anything about a presser. Alan Thrift said our IVF cost $26,000 and didn't work. No way. Oh, that's a lot. Wow. We adopted 3 embryos and that was like $8K. It didn't work. So I guess obviously there's no guarantees. If you spend your money, I guess it comes with the risk. You don't get no money back, I guess. Adopted my son and that was right. Yeah, adoption is really expensive too. I didn't know that. Okay. So I'm sure those people in this clinic are ecstatic that this stuff didn't get destroyed, or the families or whatever, you know. I'm guessing that's what this person's objective was, to destroy. I don't know if it was to destroy the embryos, or was it to destroy the people inside or kill them, or both. I don't know. Yeah, I really don't see nothing though. This presser. Let me look again. Mm-hmm. Deadly weather. Witness describes moment after.
Video for us, joining us on the phone. Alan, thanks for taking this video for us and getting it to us. And if you could just kind of walk us through what your morning was like going through this.
It was a unique sound, like a sonic boom, and that was about 10:55, almost 11 a.m. And I thought it was an earthquake because things rattled and knocked off his shelves, and I'm a quarter mile from the bomb site of the explosion, and I never heard anything that unique except early on in my journalism career. I was a reporter once. I heard a jet crash, an A7 blow up in a street in Tucson near the University of Arizona, and it was the most unique sound. And I thought for sure a helicopter had crashed, or again, a sonic boom. Maybe it was a Musk rocket that took off. And I never identified it. Neighbors were out, horns were honking from alarms, and I was, like I said, a quarter mile away. I got on my bike, rode up there, and took a look, and fire were just responding the same time I was, and it was just so unbelievable because it was so little smoke, and the smoke that went up went straight up, and it wasn't a lot, but things were blowing out about at least a block around the site. And the big surprise to me was the unique sound of that explosion. I'll never forget it this far away.
If you could, I know we always hear fireworks this time of year as we lead up to July 4th, and then occasionally we'll hear one that sounds a little different. Was it deeper? Was it the fact that you might have felt it? If you could try and put into words, what was so different about this sound that you hadn't heard before?
Oh, exactly. It was a shock wave. It was like a wave of energy that hit the glass first out to the front of my house. It faced the Desert Medical Center, but clearly blocks away. And I saw the glass, it was rattling, and then the boom, and it knocked glasses on shelves around. It knocked a few knickknacks that are in my kitchen, and I was stunned, and the dogs were stunned. They didn't even bark. They just looked at me like, is this safe? And that's what everybody felt. I went out to the driveway, and neighbors were starting to come out and was like, are we safe? Is that, because you couldn't see any smoke. You didn't know what was going on. It was just that blast. So I thought it was just a unique rocket ship. And then I guessed that it had to be near the hospital, and I just figured the gas, what they use in emergency care, something wasn't secure and probably blew up at the hospital. And when I got there, people were running my way against it. And I thought, this is really unique. And then it wasn't the hospital. It was across the street in a very small explosion space for such a huge noise and a big shock wave that was felt now, I believe, at least 2 miles away from it.
Yeah.
It was really unique to see only one building blowing out and blowing through. And I went behind it before the firemen came, and there was a guy and his wife back there, and he said he was an explosive guy. I know you were talking to one earlier, and he said that had to be a car bomb because it's blasted from this courtyard where he and I were looking, and it went out to the east, and we were in the west part of the building, the courtyard where the car was smoldering, and there were car parts all over the place, bumpers and ripped siding, and he said that had to be a car bomb, and the way it fanned out. And then, of course, police came, firemen, and they were very nice, actually, and just said, step aside, you probably should get out of here. We don't know if it's a single explosion, which made sense. And so we scattered and got our pictures and looked around, and at least that half-mile radius, I never saw such destruction except maybe the North Ridge earthquake.
Yeah, Alan,
break that
you
much
mentioned
glass.
that you got there, pretty quickly before even some emergency responders. What
Right.
was it like? Was it busy? Was it not busy? What was it like when you first got there?
I was surprised that I wouldn't call it chaotic. It was just people were stunned, and there had to be 200 or 300 people that left their houses and hotels nearby and were just wandering around looking nervous, maybe scared, I'm sure. And it was uncomfortable. And the surprise to me was the hospital, that there were no gurneys, no paramedics, nobody but fire and police were showing up right after us at that scene, and it wasn't really secure yet. That they got their hoses out immediately and started watering down. And I was expecting, sadly, human remains, body parts from something like this, but nothing. But I'm sure it had to be a car bomb because it looked like it was in the middle of a courtyard. It was a smoldering car, which I had a picture of. The fire hose just got there about the time I'm taking the picture, and it looked like everything had blasted to the east. But people were pretty surprised and stunned, hopeful, talkative. And the big surprise is I can't believe more people weren't hurt, because the parts of the car and glass were a good 3, 4, 5 blocks around that explosion area.
Wow.
And it was in the street and parking areas, and people's car shattered and broken.
Yeah.
It's just so odd.
Yeah, and it looks like that car was sent all the way across that courtyard from the building front to the middle. Alan, I want to thank you. Thanks for putting your reporter hat on for us again, and doing what you do best. We really appreciate it. Thank you for watching and for letting us know what you see.
Crazy. All right, let me see. Is there anything else? I mean, if not, we'll have to come back, I guess. Let me see if there's any kind of anything about a pressure, because I don't see that. I don't see it, pimping. All right. I guess I'm going to hop off for now, guys, because I don't see anything right now. I'll jump on if anything happens later. I'm going to do a couple of things around the house. But thank you so much for watching. Please hit like and subscribe. Thank you to the people that signed up to the mailing list. We're at 866. Appreciate that. Went up a little bit. So, yeah, if you don't want to miss any notifications, you want everything to hit to your email box immediately as soon as I jump live, sign up to the mailing list or go to ickandmail.com. And I'm out of here. Bye. Bloop, 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 bloop. Oh. Adios, amigos, muchachos. Till the next big one.